Is that the Predator cartridge was pretty faded, which I was very surprised, especially since it was coming from LukieGames. The pins would get too hot and it'd melt through the plastic casing. That was the original cartridge. Defender, everybody knows what that is. Looks like it's in fantastic condition, so it turned out pretty good. Okay, so I decided to get 3 games, one each from each of my favorite sellers on eBay. We got Pedro over here, we got LukieGames over here, and we have NES Headquarters over here. Haven't mentioned NES Headquarters in any other video that I can recall, but I have talked about LukieGames and Pedro before. Now Pedro I've bought a lot of stuff from, but LukieGames and NES Headquarters about the same amount. Nowhere near as much as I've actually purchased from PedroGames. Now my original intent was to see like which of the 3 sellers would actually get here the quickest, but in hindsight that's kind of a silly proposition because well, I'm in Las Vegas and PedroGames is in North Carolina, LukieGames is in Florida, and NES Headquarters is in Wyoming. So just based on their geographic location, that actually wouldn't be a fair race. All 3 games were purchased at the same time, and they were paid for all at the same time as well. But the Pedro game arrived first, and then the LukieGames and the NES Headquarters game arrived at the same time. Can't really base it on how quickly the games arrived, but we can compare it based on the cleanliness and things like that. So we'll check that out and see if there's anything that we can compare the 3 sellers to. But again, these are my 3 favorite sellers. Don't really have anything bad to say about any of them. So really the only thing we have to compare will be the cleanliness of the titles themselves. Okay, we'll start out by opening the Pedro package first. And again, we're just looking at the cleanliness of the games themselves. Alright, so first up is Mighty Bomb Jack. Looks pretty good. Label has a little bit of wear to it, but not that bad. A little grimy over there, but I can't complain. Oh, it's a 5-screw. Cool, some residue here, maybe from the Pedro's cleaning process, but not that bad. Not that bad at all. Pins look perfect. Very shiny. Can't see it in the video, but from a vantage point, it's just fine. Cool. So Mighty Bomb Jack from Pedro. Next we'll look at LukieGames. LukieGames and their signature bubble mailer. Alright. This was Puss in Boots. Looks about as on par with Pedro's Mighty Bomb Jack. Label's a little worn. Same little bit of grime up there. Not that bad. Looking at the pins. Actually, you know what? I'm not too convinced about these pins. So let's take a closer look on those. I have the security bit for Nintendo cartridges, which is a good investment if you want to clean Nintendo games appropriately. There's actually a trick you could use a plastic pen and a lighter if you don't have one of these bits to open the system, or to open the game rather. But I'd highly recommend getting the bit. It makes your life a lot easier. Oh, and the screws go flying. Yeah, this looks... Wow, I'm kind of disappointed. Look at that. There's all kinds of residue over that. Stick that in your system, you might make it inoperable. So very surprised it's coming from Lukie, especially after the blog posting and the videos about the experience with the faded label of Predator. She had that Sarah, who works for the company, had left a comment in the post saying that the label on the back indicates who from the company cleaned it. So if you can see that, 1393105. But that's just, whew, that's just nasty. I don't even know what that is. Like Ajax or something. I don't know. So I use a very, very, very fine sandpaper to clean the pins on my games. Which I got at Harbor Freight, but you can probably get this anywhere. Probably Home Depot, Lowe's, maybe even Walmart. But we'll fix this up. But again, that was very, very surprising. You see all that stuff in there. Again, though, I don't know if that's like Ajax or what the deal is. The sandpaper just takes only the smallest amount of grime off. Alright, it's a lot better than what it was. So we'll go ahead and put this back together. And normally, if I get a game that is dirty, regardless of the seller, if I can clean it up, no sweat, then I don't hold it against them in the review on eBay. I know a lot of people do, and some sellers put a bunch of warnings in there, making sure you clean your games and everything before putting it into your system. So I learned a long time ago that's the only way to do it. So we'll test this in a little bit, make sure it works fine. Alright, and last but not least was NES headquarters. This should be Flying Warriors. Looks great. Same amount of label wear as the other two titles. Some grime up there. Pins look fantastic. So just to do it as a comparison, compare it to what the Puss in Boots look like, we'll go ahead and open this so I can show you. And again, if you get the opportunity to get one of these security bits for NES games, by all means do so. They're not that expensive. It'll save you a lot of headaches. So when you look at that, very shiny, looks brand new. So again, just a comparison. I mean, obviously something was used to attempt to clean the other game from LukieGames, but could have been a rush job. You got to understand, a lot of these sellers move a lot of product, real fast, so things are bound to slip through the cracks. So cool, Flying Warriors. And Puss in Boots work fine, so it just needed a little more cleaning and works great.